The Pacific Ocean shimmered, a vast blue canvas under a clear January sky. David Morrow, a retired firefighter, savored the salty air, the gentle rhythm of the waves, a soothing balm to his soul. He often came to this beach in Pacific Palisades, seeking solace in the vastness of the sea. Little did he know the serenity of this day would soon be shattered, replaced by a scene of unimaginable chaos. Morrow had always been drawn to the ocean, its vastness a mirror to the wildness he'd confronted in his years fighting California's unforgiving wildfires. He'd seen firsthand the destructive power of nature, the way a single spark could ignite an inferno, but nothing could have prepared him for what was about to unfold. As he gazed out at the horizon, a flicker of movement caught his eye. A plume of smoke, thin and wispy at first, began to rise from the crest of the Santa Monica Mountains. It was an all-too-familiar sight, a grim harbinger of danger that sent a chill down his spine. The ocean breeze carried the faint scent of burning chaparral, a smell that would forever be etched in his memory. The fire, a ravenous beast awakened, spread with terrifying speed. Fueled by dry brush and propelled by fierce Santa Ana winds, it raced across the hillsides, a wall of flames devouring everything in its path. Morrow watched in disbelief as the thin plume of smoke transformed into a towering inferno, its orange glow reflecting ominously on the surface of the ocean. The tranquility of the beach was shattered. Panic surged through the crowd as the realization dawned that the fire was not a distant threat but an immediate danger. Families scrambled to gather their belongings, their leisurely afternoon replaced by a desperate scramble for safety. The air, once filled with the scent of salt and sunscreen, now carried the acrid tang of smoke, a suffocating reminder of the inferno raging just miles away. Morrow, his instincts honed from years of battling wildfires, knew this was no ordinary blaze. The speed and ferocity of the fire were unlike anything he'd ever witnessed. It was as if some unseen force was driving the flames onward, consuming everything in its path with an insatiable hunger. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The firestorm raged for days, an unrelenting inferno that transformed the landscape into a desolate wasteland. Homes, businesses, entire neighborhoods vanished in the flames, leaving behind a trail of ash and rubble. The fire, driven by the relentless Santa Ana winds, jumped freeways and fire breaks, defying all attempts at containment. Los Angeles, a city accustomed to sunshine and glamour, was now shrouded in a thick pall of smoke. Ash rained down like a macabre snowfall, coating streets and buildings in a layer of grey. The air, thick with smoke and the stench of burning chemicals, stung the eyes and throat, making it difficult to breathe. The city of dreams had become a nightmare. Thousands fled their homes, seeking refuge in shelters or with family and friends. The lucky ones escaped with their lives, their most precious possessions crammed into cars and trucks. Others, trapped by the speed of the firestorm, lost everything. The human toll of the disaster was immeasurable, a heartbreaking testament to the destructive power of nature unleashed. Firefighters, exhausted and overwhelmed, fought valiantly against the inferno, their courage and determination tested like never before. Water bombers, dwarfed by the scale of the blaze, dumped their payloads on the flames, their efforts seeming almost futile against the sheer ferocity of the firestorm. On the ground, crews battled spot fires and protected structures, their faces grim with the knowledge that they were fighting a losing battle. The January 2025 wildfire, like many before it, exposed the vulnerabilities of a city built on the edge of wilderness. Dry brush, fueled by years of drought, provided ample tinder for the flames. The Santa Ana winds, howling down from the mountains, acted like a giant bellows, pushing the fire onward with relentless force. It was a perfect storm of conditions, a recipe for disaster. As the days turned into nights, the firefighters fought on, their resolve fueled by a sense of duty and a desperate hope that they could somehow tame the beast. They knew they were up against an enemy that respected no boundaries, an inferno that could consume everything in its path in the blink of an eye. But still, they fought on, their courage a beacon of light in the midst of the inferno. California, a land of breathtaking beauty and unforgiving nature, has long been shaped by fire. From the towering redwoods of the north to the chaparral-covered hills of the south, fire is an integral part of the state's ecology, a force that both creates and destroys. But in recent decades, the delicate balance has been disrupted, the fires growing larger, hotter, and more destructive. The January 2025 wildfire was just the latest in a string of megafires that have ravaged the state in recent years, each one seemingly more catastrophic than the last. The 2003 Cedar Fire, the 2017 Tubbs Fire, the 2018 Camp Fire, these infernos have become etched in California's collective memory, grim reminders of the devastating power of wildfire. Each fire, a tragic tale of loss and destruction, has pushed the state to the brink, forcing a reckoning with the forces that are fueling these increasingly destructive blazes. The historical record is a stark reminder that California has always been a land of fire. But the fires of today are different, their intensity and ferocity amplified by a changing climate. As temperatures rise and droughts become more severe, the vegetation that covers California's hills and canyons becomes drier, more readily combustible. The result is a landscape primed to burn, a tinderbox waiting for a spark.